Hey guys, it's Josh from the Josh and Rob Show featuring Rob and Josh. Before we get into it, today's podcast is brought to you by Midwest Game Nerds. They do a podcast talking about all things games, like reviews, content, everything in between. It's a real cool show. They're cool guys. The production quality is awesome, and they're fun to listen to. I was just listening to their most recent one, episode 44. And it's just fun. They're very personable. They're down to earth, which is kind of the thing that we're aiming to do. So, yeah, go check them out at midwestgamenerds.com. They got all the social media and everything. Make sure you follow them there. And yeah, so we do an intro. We kind of go over how we feel like the show is gonna be, what we're gonna talk about, those types of things. Just to give you a little heads up, the production and everything, we sort of rushed into it. We wanted to really just get the content out there. So I'm excited to upgrade and add new things as we go on. So it'll continually get better. And I'm just excited to talk to everybody, get some discussions going, and it'll be fun. So stay tuned, stick with us. Hope you enjoy.
Sir,
What's up, man?
good day.
How's it going?
It's going well, man. Our first podcast. We have to do the official
Episode number
handshake.
one.
That's a firm ass handshake you got there. It's the Josh and Rob show featuring.
Rob and Josh.
You see, that's a play on words right
Josh.
there.
That's Rob.
Yeah, as you can guess, I am Rob. That is Josh. This is our first podcast right now today. First time ever.
Yeah, man.
Two guys, two working men. And we're here for you. We're here for the people. We're here for all the 9-to-5ers out there, all the young kids who are confused about, everything in life right now. And just shed a little bit of light on the show and exactly what we're going to be talking about and going over and pretty much what the gist of the Josh and Rob show featuring Rob and Josh is all about. And that's confusing as hell to say, by the way. I almost got tongue-tied
We're
like
gonna get
3
it
or
down,
4
though.
times.
We're gonna get it so fucking down.
Mhm.
No, so yeah, basically the show is just kind of it's just about like young people. We're all like, we're still young guys. We want to talk to other young people who feel like they're struggling, or maybe they're working on a project, or they
Yep.
want to get something started.
Yep.
Really, like, sometimes you feel stuck, or you don't know where to go from here, or like you have your own issues. We just want to talk about all that stuff, all those issues, get it out in the open, really like
Mm-hmm.
talk stuff through and
Yep.
and figure it out together. Build each other up.
Yep.
And we're gonna have email, Instagram, all that social media stuff, Twitter,
Definitely.
where you guys can get in contact with us.
Definitely.
And so if you guys have anything you want to talk about, or you want us to bring up
Mhm.
on the show, you want us to discuss, or whatever the case may be,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff will be in the description below. Once we upload the video,
Yep.
and be a part of the show.
Yep.
Let's have fun with it. Let's keep it positive.
Mhm.
Let's bring each other up.
Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it all the way positive. And even if, you just need a second to rant, we'll play your psychiatrist. We're here for you.
Right.
We
Yeah.
know what the struggles is of going to a job that you necessarily don't like. It's unfulfilling. It's not for you. And the
Yep.
whole time you're there, you're just like, damn, what am I doing here? I can't relate to these people.
Mm-hmm.
The money sucks.
Yep.
I can't pay my bills. I have this dream inside of me, but I can't get it out because I'm stuck in this rat race. And I think so many people can relate to that. And I think that's why this podcast right here will be impactful. And hopefully we could just help a lot of people and reach out to a lot of people, and make some change, Maybe, some life-breaking things could happen, some life-changing moments, man. That's what we're here to do. We're here to inspire, and we're here to be positive all the way, man. I've got my brother Josh here. We've been working together at the hellhole, we'll call it now, for a few years.
The place that shall not be named.
Yeah, we'll keep that place anonymous. But we've been working there, and I've known this guy for a while, and he's always had a dream. He's always wanted to do something more, and myself included. But it just took us a while to actually get to the point where we're just like, excuse my French, the hell with this, screw this. I don't want to do this anymore. I know what's for me, and I'm positive about it now. So I'm just gonna, full speed ahead. I'm just gonna go after it. So, um,
Yeah.
a lot of times, we get caught up, like I was saying, in this rat race, man, and we just kind of settle in. We kind of forget about the things that drives us and the things that we're passionate about. Like yourself with music. Tell people a little bit about your story and how long you've been doing music, and just taking the time out for that. While you're in your
My
job
little
and everything.
Marvel superhero origin story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, so for me, like I've been playing guitar for 16 years.
Ooh.
Ever since I started, it was like really that was pretty much the thing I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
That was always number one.
Yep.
So I kind of like at a certain point, like I sort of lost that. I was in bands and everything for a
Mm-hmm.
long time, and but the last few years especially, like I started thinking like, oh, I'm supposed to do like a normal job, or I'm supposed to do this, right?
Yeah.
But lately I've turned that around and I've said, well, fuck it, I don't want to do the normal shit everybody else is doing. That's fine.
Stick it to the man. Stick it
Right,
to
right.
him.
And it's fine if you want to do that kind of stuff. But that's not like the only thing I want to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is turn it around, right? Start making a real effort
Yeah.
because this is what I love to do. So
Definitely.
now I'm working on all kinds of stuff, just creating music content. I'm having
Mm-hmm.
fun with it, recording, doing YouTube videos,
Yep.
doing streams on Twitch.
Live streams, by the way, people check them out.
Yeah, I mean all that stuff will be in the descriptions. All Rob's shit will be in the descriptions
Mm-hmm.
afterwards. So yeah, check us out. But yeah, I mean we'll link everything. So anything we talk
Check it
about
out.
that needs to be in here, you can check it out in the
And,
descriptions.
and what do we call them? I'm so damn tech illiterate. We call them hyper links, right?
You just say links, man. Yeah,
Okay, links. Hit us up on the links.
they got it.
Yeah. Anyway, about myself, you've
Yeah,
heard
man, talk
about
about yourself.
Josh and his journey, and everything he's doing right now in music and with the guitar and everything. So pretty much about me. I'm a city boy from the city. I've worked since I've been about 15. Um, I never had a problem with working. I thought it was just something that people were supposed to do.
Yep.
Um,
Again with the supposed to.
yeah,
Yep.
my entire life, I always felt that something was missing, especially when I got in my mid 20s. I'm just like, you know what? Like I've been writing for years. I'm a writer, by the way. I've done a lot of freelance work, but right now I'm working on a book entitled Retail Disco. It's a story about a young lady who's going through a spiritual awakening. Furthermore, she winds up in a retail store, high-end fashion store, and she becomes a madam. And she ends up escorting out females inside of this retail store. Stay tuned for the rest of the details. But
Ooh,
I've
that's
been
saucy.
super saucy, baby. So saucy, it's wet. But I've been working on it for about.
Cliffhanger.
I've been yeah, cliffhanger. But
Get the book.
I've been working on it for about 4 or 5 months now. I love writing. So many people have told me, it's not gonna work. How you gonna make a living? Like I'm not worried about that, man. As long as I'm able to do what I want to do, everything else will be given to me. And that's I think that's probably the biggest fear that people have. Okay, I've got this dream, I've got this goal, but at the same time, I've got bills. So what the hell do
Yeah.
I need to do? And as an end result, they end up feeling trapped. So,
Mm.
just, kind of shed some light on, have you ever been trapped before? What's some of the ways
Tons of times.
that you combated that? How did you get out of that to say, you know what, screw this. I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't for me. I need to get the hell out of here. I don't want to be trapped anymore. What's your advice to the people
Yeah,
out
I mean,
there?
I think everybody's been there in some sense or at some point in their life,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, several times, honestly.
Yep.
Like the latest one, the place that should not be named. You start to get comfortable, right? And then
Definitely.
the goal you have starts to it starts to feel like it's like this unattainable thing,
It's
right?
so
It's just
far
a
away.
it's just a dream
Yeah.
that you had, and it means nothing, right?
Yep.
But you know, for me, what I think what helped me, and I don't know if this helps other people or even if it helps you, you can,
Yeah.
let us know. But what helped me a lot is I think like I just kind of randomly certain people I started following or watching their content or whatever it was, I would see
Oh.
people like in their stories how
Mm-hmm.
they came like they had something just tragic, just shit just fell apart, right? Just
Yeah.
they're like, fuck, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And and to see them like kind of turn it around and they're living like this like amazing lifestyle now, right? And
Yep.
in different ways too. But they figured out what their lifestyle was, right? They went in the tank and they
Mm-hmm.
really thought about it. They're like, what what the hell do I really need to be doing,
Mm-hmm.
and what's going to make me happy doing, and what kind
Mm-hmm.
of lifestyle do I want to lead, right?
Yep.
And then I think when you learn about you're learning a lot about yourself in that sense, right?
Yep. Definitely.
So I think that's like one step, and then that's the stories that I've kind of like checked out where I've been like, you know what, this is like this
Mm-hmm.
is doable. I
Yep.
see like I'm seeing real people who like
Yep.
maybe I kind of knew before, maybe I didn't, um, who just they turned it around and they did
Mm-hmm.
it. And who's to say that my story could be any different, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can make shit happen at any point. All I need to do is start focusing on what
Mm-hmm.
like makes me happy, what I'm interested in,
Mm-hmm.
and then start going towards that. So I
Yep.
mean, like, is that kind of
Exactly, man. And you know what's so good about social media is it gives you the opportunity to pretty much tune in to anyone across the entire world, man. And
yeah?
that's inspiration right there at your
Mm-hmm.
fingertips. You know what I mean? So a lot of times for me, man, I'll turn on YouTube or
Yeah, YouTube's
I'll
a big one.
definitely, man. I'll go to different people's channels and try to figure out what it is that they were passionate about. What's their story, man? What's some of the things that they've been through? What's some of the hardships? Because not only do you learn from that, that's a cute kitty, by the way, man. He's
Yeah,
just
thanks,
purring at me
man.
all the way up there. I wish there was some of the ladies doing that in the hellhole, right? Um, but anyway, it's real inspiring to look at different people's stories, and also at the same time, man, it humbles you in a way too, because it's like, wow, my life isn't really, that fucked up, man.
Yep,
I don't have it that bad,
yep.
and it gives you that much more determination, that much more drive to just push forward,
Yeah, if
towards
somebody went
your
through
goals,
this and
man.
it's
What it is you want, what's for you.
yeah, they're like you see somebody who just went through hell and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, okay, maybe my situation's
Yeah.
not that bad. If they can
Right.
do like all of that, there's no
Exactly.
excuse for me
Right.
to not be able to do
Right. And I'm
And it sounds a
saying,
little bit cliche maybe. I think a
mm-hmm.
lot of people have heard that kind of shit,
But it's
but
true.
it's true, but
It's true.
you almost have to almost sometimes experience that for yourself
Mm-hmm.
in your own way.
Yep.
And somebody like everybody has a different voice,
Mm-hmm.
and then and when sometimes you just hear the right one and
Mm-hmm.
it clicks to you.
Yep.
The same person could tell, or a bunch of different people could tell you the same thing 100 different times, but that 101st time is the one where like you just heard it slightly
Mm-hmm.
different
Like,
and it clicked,
I got it.
and you went, yeah, holy shit, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this now.
Yep, definitely. And that's what pretty much happened with me, man. I remember at times, man, just being at a low state, man, sitting in a studio apartment and just desperately just scrolling through, just looking for something, of impact, man. But throughout that, I learned a lot, I absorbed a lot of content, but the lesson that I learned from that was, sure, watching this content is great, but what am I contributing? What
Yep.
is it that I'm doing? What am I putting out into the universe so that, my voice can echo on, throughout
Mm-hmm.
eternity? So I could leave something here to say people, to have people say, damn, wow, man.
Yeah.
If he could do it, then I can definitely do it.
Yeah, you're doing
Mm-hmm.
for others what people have done for you
Yeah.
in some kind of strange way, right?
Yeah.
Like inadvertently
Mm-hmm.
helping other people. Yeah, that's a
Definitely.
big part of it for me too, which
Definitely,
is
man.
the whole like connecting to
Mm-hmm.
people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think I fully was conscious of the fact that like I really enjoy like actually helping people in like my way, right?
Yeah.
Where like I feel confident about something, and in whatever the way that I'm doing it,
Yep.
it just happens to like help somebody in some other way,
Mm-hmm.
or they want to be a part of it, or whatever the case is. And like that's the kind of stuff that I think gets me, you know what I
Yep.
mean? Where I'm like, I'm like, shit, like now I'm really feeling good about it, you know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man, definitely. So the content was one thing for you, and also I benefited greatly. Benefited. What the hell is benefited?
Yeah, man, we get
Benefited.
up early, you know?
Exactly. We get up at four
We
a.m.
have
every day.
yeah,
So
we got
right
an
now,
excuse.
what time is it? Is it what 2:54? I'm kind
Yeah,
of like out of my mind right now. I had a Bush beer too, so
yeah.
I might be a
A
little
warm bush
tipsy.
beer on like kind of a warm day,
Yeah, why'd you
you
have to
know?
tell the people it was warm though? You could have told them an ice cold. You know I'm a
Hey.
storyteller, man, so I'm gonna check your ass every time about it, man. I had an ice cold Bush beer, so I
Ice cold
may,
guys, you heard it from the
yeah,
source.
I may be a little bit tongue tied, but anyway, like you said, man, viewing positive content, that's huge for me as well. But just to be really, really frank and just blunt and honest, man, what really, really got me up off my ass was my environment.
Yeah.
Was looking around at the people around me, not only in my job, but in my living
Hmm.
situation. My environment, my community, man, and just being surrounded by people who just didn't want a damn thing, man. And I've always wanted something my entire life. I just didn't know what it was. I knew
Hmm.
what I was talented at, but I just didn't think that I was good enough to take it to that next level. So, one of the things to combat, that just standing still, and that scared nature that we all have at times was pretty much, man, just listening to my inner voice and just being just tired, just like I can't take this anymore.
Yep.
I can't take being around
You
these
reached the
people.
breaking point,
You
kind
reach the
of.
breaking point, man, especially when when it reflects in your relationships, your work life, and everything. You're just an asshole. You remember me? He remembers me. Like I had a horrible, horrible temper. And I still have to check it at times, but my temper was horrible. I would come into work pissed off. The first thing that people say to me, "Oh, well, Robert, you didn't do this yesterday." What the fuck you mean? What, bitch? I'll kill you. I hate all you motherfuckers. Ah, you know what I mean? So, um,
Exaggerating a little bit. Like,
really,
like a little bit, though.
just a tad bit, but when you, point being, when you know what's for you and you take those appropriate steps, man, it just heals so many other things and so many other issues. A lot of sometimes we don't know different aspects of our personality, but we project them to people. So, they paint a picture
Yeah.
for us. And, I'm looked at as around the workplace as this guy, like, why is he so fucking angry, or why is he going off on people, or,
Hmm.
because I'm not living my truth. And that's what's
Yep.
so important. You have to live your truth, man. And that's how you get out of that rat race. That's how you get out of that mouse cage. That circular wheel motion.
Yeah.
Every day doing the same thing, getting the same paychecks, talking to the same people who don't want a damn thing. You can't relate to them. All the behavior is forced. Nothing is natural.
Yeah.
So
I think you
that's
learn a lot in that environment about yourself, too. Like
definitely,
it's like you said, the environment, it plays a big role in,
definitely.
and that's something I left out, but that is very true
Mm-hmm.
in my case as well, because it's like you wake up every day and you just go,
Mm-hmm.
man,
I don't want
like
to do this.
yeah, you shouldn't have to feel like that,
I
right?
don't want to do
And
this.
if that's the way you feel when you get up in the morning every morning at
Mm-hmm.
a certain point, where like it wasn't always like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it gets to that point, I think, and when you start feeling like that, when you get up every morning, like I just don't want to do this, I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to, and then you get to work and you're like, I don't want to be here.
Yep.
Um,
Definitely.
that's really telling you something, and I think
Definitely.
like it. One of the things I did is I was watching actually like a TED talk,
Yeah.
and
Those are
I
good.
yeah, hell yeah,
Yeah,
it was just
those are
some
good.
like I don't even I honestly can't even remember the guy's name. I
Mm-hmm.
wish I could because I would link it on here for people. But he was talking about a making a list basically. He asked 5 questions,
Yeah.
and in one of them was just kind of like who are you,
Yep.
like what do you do, um, and like a few other things. And I made this list, and I got to like this question where it was like I think it was something like what are you best at, or
Yeah.
it was something along those lines. And I went, shit, what's the like one thing you have to pick one thing? And I have like a lot. I have personally have a lot of different interests, right? I can spend all day doing tons of different things
Yeah.
and not really focusing on any one of them,
Yeah.
but just kind of like going through a day and just going, where the hell did my time go, right?
Right.
Because I was like, I just did a
Oh
million
my
things.
God, that's like fucking 15 years of my life
Yeah,
at least. Like,
and
oh, what happened? What? Huh?
yeah,
Huh?
and so like I got to that question though,
Mm-hmm.
and I went, what the hell? Like, and I think when I was like 16, I would have been like guitar,
Yeah.
musician. I'm a musician.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's like that didn't necessarily occur to me like right away
Yeah.
for whatever reason, and I think I know that to be the case. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's what I'm most confident at.
Mm-hmm.
But it really, that list of things just really caused me to have to think like deep about
Mm-hmm.
myself and like what the hell I'm
Yep.
doing, and like because I got to, when I saw that and I realized I didn't know the answer, I felt like, fuck, I gotta figure this
Yeah.
out, right?
And you know,
I have to, because that's sad. I can't answer the question.
but it's normal
You know?
though. It's normal when you get caught up in a system and in a rat race.
Yeah.
You forget how to think on your own. You forget
You
how to think on your own.
you
You don't
forget
know.
the things that were like
Mhm.
the most important to you, kind of,
Yep.
like the stuff kind of falls away, fades away into the background a
Yep.
little bit, and then
Definitely.
I think sometimes you have to like make yourself face those things,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you do that, you go, wow, what the hell? And then like
Yeah.
it's just you start on one little thing, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then as long as you just make yourself think about those things, like you said, with being surrounded by the people you don't want to be around,
Yep.
and those kinds of things, um, all of that stuff tells you different things, right? Your
Definitely.
interactions with those people,
Yep.
you're waking up and going to a place you hate every day.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff is telling you something, and you really just have to think about it. You have to like confront it for
Mhm.
yourself, and really that doesn't take all that much effort.
It
You're
doesn't.
probably already thinking about it, right?
Mhm.
But just think deeply about like what you want, right?
Mhm.
And you have to
Yep.
kind of start going, okay, well, maybe what if I did this, right?
Yep.
And then maybe you go, hey, that sounds interesting, like, and
Mhm.
just kind of plan it out in your mind. You don't even
Yep.
have to like maybe you take a couple notes or
Mhm.
something, right? You don't have to really do much of anything to start with. You're just kind of speculating,
Mhm.
and once you've figured out that one thing that you're really interested, you go, okay, so that's the thing, right? Well, I mean, like, I guess what could I do with that that'd be fun and
Mhm.
different? Like, what would make me happy
Yeah.
doing this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I think what happens is you start to build on these things, and then once you get to a certain point, you've thought about it a lot. Maybe like a week has gone by, you've really thought about it, and
Yeah.
you go, okay, well, maybe you're just talking to somebody. Maybe I'm talking to you, and I go,
Okay.
hey man, and I pretty much did this at one point where I was like, hey man, I'm
Several times.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna like, spend some money on some recording equipment, right?
Mhm.
And I just started there. Like that's all I really said at the time. I think I'm gonna buy some recording equipment.
Yep.
I want to like record some music,
Yeah.
and it started. That's honestly was where it started. It was
Planting that
pretty
seed.
small, but like I realized something talking to you the other day when we were talking about this,
Mhm.
talking about recording the podcast, and I said something about putting it out there,
Yep.
and it was something you said that made me think of that, and I went, wow, when you put it out into the world to somebody, like it makes it more real, right?
It does.
And I think if you tell like a bunch of people, hey, I'm gonna try and do this thing,
It does. It
then they go, oh, that's really cool, right? And then you
Mhm.
go, all right, well, now I told all these people, I kind of
Yeah.
got to do it, right?
does. I have to do it now.
I gotta show these people
I
this
have
thing,
to do
right?
it now. Yep.
And then and not only that, but when you're talking to somebody about it,
Yeah.
they might, want to be like, oh, well, hey, what about this? Like, are you doing this? Or
Yep.
they have some questions for you, and then it
Definitely.
makes you think of other things, and really you start like building on this one little idea
Yeah.
until all of a sudden you have like this empire of shit in your head, right? And where you're
Mhm.
like, wow, there's actually a lot going on now.
All from
You know?
one seed. Something I
Yeah.
said. Actually, you thought about something I said later on in the day.
Yeah.
Josh is like the
No,
the,
that
the,
was
the IQ one. He's like the smart guy. I'm the one who's just like, you know what? I don't want to be angry anymore. I just want to meditate. I want to practice my numerology. So that's pretty dope, man. I appreciate that shout out.
No, you know what it was? This guy's being modest. What it was is when we were having beers at the other day,
Oh yeah,
and we were talking.
a lot of beers. It was a lot of beers. Okay,
it was
sorry,
a few
go ahead.
beers. It was a few beers.
On my end, it was.
But yeah, no, I mean it was just kind of like we were just talking back and forth about like
Yeah.
the topics of today's show, I guess, and making ourselves a few notes. We usually
Yeah.
just kind of go off the cuff or whatever and start having a
Mhm.
discussion.
Mhm.
And Yeah, that was just one of the things that you said something. I honestly don't even remember what it is. Just
Yeah.
like it just that popped into my head, you know.
Yeah.
And that's usually for me the way I started to realize. For me, that's the way a lot of things work, right?
Yeah.
I start talking to somebody about something, and then you get an idea, right?
Yeah.
You have some input on the conversation, and then sometimes I'll just spit something out of my mouth, and I'll go, "Wait a second, that's a thing.
Right.
Let me build on that idea, right?" And so that's kind of what happened, and I think
Yeah.
that's an important thing is putting shit
Definitely.
out into the world, right?
Definitely, man. Affirming it, claiming it, putting it out there, and after that, my favorite part, taking aggressive action, like your life depends on it. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have, a lot of times I like to pretend now, especially as if, I have a family of 10 to feed,
Yeah.
and all I've got is this one dream, and I don't care who thinks I'm silly, who thinks it's
Mm-hmm.
immature, I'm childish, and, it's too late, or I shouldn't be doing this, or I should be going to school, or I should be learning a trade,
Yeah.
or any of this just BS that we've been taught, as kids. We have
About
to
the
learn
way
to
the
block.
world is supposed to be.
Right, exactly.
It's like
About,
this structure,
yeah,
this mold that you've been put in
yeah,
since you're a kid,
yeah.
and it's like that's
Yeah,
how it is basically.
exactly. And it doesn't work that way. It's proven itself that it doesn't work that way, which is, why you have,
Look
young
at your
people are
favorite musician or something. In
exactly.
my case, it's easy to think that, right?
Mhm.
Or like artist,
Right.
or a lot of different, even just
Right.
entrepreneurs in general.
Right.
Like all those guys, they had like a real dream, right?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
they followed that
Yep.
passion, and like it blew up,
Yeah,
right?
and it blew up. It blew
Because
up.
they weren't afraid to jump into it, or maybe they
Mhm.
were afraid. Who knows?
Oh,
People
definitely.
people are
Definitely.
always you. It can be like
Definitely.
it can be tough sometimes because you go, wow, like
Mhm.
I don't know how I'm gonna accomplish this,
Yeah.
right? I did that for a long time where I was like, well, how do I make this work?
Yeah.
I don't think I can afford this, or I
Mhm.
don't know how I'm going. Like I don't have the knowledge for this, maybe, or whatever the case is. And then I just started gradually taking those steps, right?
Yeah.
Towards it, and as I got a little bit further along, that other stuff, like I figured it out, right? It just kind of came to me.
It kind of came to you, and,
So
and that's exactly what we talked about originally when you first started the journey. You're
yeah.
like, man, I don't have this money, yada yada. I have to get this. I have to get this amp, this guitar, this computer. I need to get, this camera, the stream, and everything that you were telling me. And I said, dog, it's gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as you get on that road, everything is gonna be provided
Yep.
for you, and it happened, man. It's been a pleasure to watch you do that too, man. And you know what? I hope you piece this place out.
Yeah.
I hope
Hey,
you.
we're
I hope.
both
I
are,
hope.
man.
We, definitely, man. We don't
We're
have
gonna
a
knock this
choice,
shit
man,
out.
because we're young and we're sexy. But anyway, I
No,
mean,
for real though, we're too far into it at this point to where
definitely,
like you know
man.
what like
Definitely.
I think we've both proven it to ourselves a little
Yeah.
bit to some extent that
Yep.
like yeah, it can be done.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not all the way there.
Definitely
We're
not
definitely
all
not
the
all
way
the way
there.
there. Not even close.
Definitely not. But
I
it's
would say,
fine.
but the reality of it is that like we got to the point I think where we got a little bit of confidence
Yeah.
now. You know what I mean? Where we're
Yep.
like, yeah, fuck it, I can do
Yep.
this.
Yep.
You
And
know?
we all get a little bit afraid sometimes. I mean, hell, it's times where I sit in my bed all night and I'm just like,
Lying
yo,
awake.
like,
Yeah.
like I got this dream. Like, I only got 20 Instagram followers. Like, I want to do this, and I've got all these different ideas running through my mind, but I'm scared. The only difference between, the old Robert and the new Robert is that, I don't let that fear cripple me. I don't let it stifle me and keep me in my bed and keep
Mm.
me pacing around, my house,
I think you find that a
for
lot of
eight
that
hours
fear
straight.
is like totally unwarranted
Yeah,
too,
I
or at
go
least
towards it.
yeah, and at least in my case, a lot of that fear is just totally unwarranted, right?
Mm-hmm.
You psych yourself out of a lot of stuff, I think,
Yeah.
that you could be doing, because once you start doing something, I mean, shit. Sometimes there's something like at my old apartment, for instance, like sometimes I would have like you know. I would make a bunch of food and there'd be dishes piled up, and and even something as small as that, I'd go, man, there's a fuck ton of dishes in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do this. Take
Right.
forever. I'll do it later,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then it was like you just go and you just start doing the dishes and you realize, well, it's not really that many in
Yeah.
here. It doesn't take that long.
And then you
Right?
realize after you get finished, like, why was I avoiding doing
Yeah.
those dishes?
Yeah.
So I
Exactly.
mean, it's just about just doing the work, and most importantly, man, listening to that voice inside, listening to right here, and
Mm-hmm.
pretty much putting out all the negativity, blocking out the negativity, and the naysayers especially. And it's so surprising to me, that you would think it would be all strangers, but a lot of times it's the people who are closest to us because their fear, they put their fear on us.
Yeah.
So what's some of the different ways that you've dealt with naysayers? Because I know you've had a lot when you tell people, exactly what it is you're doing with your music and everything like that. It's kind of, I'm not really taking up for these people, but it's like, I'm in a workplace and someone asking me what I'm into, and I'm telling them like, I'm gonna do music. I'm gonna sell
Hmm.
this many amount of records. I'm gonna help people also in the process, and I'm gonna do all these other things, through
Yep.
media. A lot of people say, "Wow,
Like, how the
who
hell are you
the
gonna do
how
that?
the hell are you gonna do
They
that? I mean, you
automatically
work here. Like, how can you afford that?
they automatically take
Who do you
sometimes a
know?
negative position
Yeah.
because and what I found lately, and this is how I kind of take the that pressure off. Like that shit doesn't get to me
Yeah.
at all. I mean, maybe it did at one point,
Yeah.
but now it's like I understand that those people they don't really understand a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. Right?
Mhm.
They just don't get it. And if they had the knowledge that I do, or maybe they, maybe some of the platforms like Twitch,
Mhm.
streaming on Twitch. People, there are actually a lot of people who don't know even what Twitch is, right? And
Yeah.
um,
Myself included.
yeah, and
I didn't know.
it's understandable too because it used to be kind of like heavily geared towards gamers, right? And now there's a
Mhm.
creative section. It's expanding a lot, but
Yeah.
that's one of those things that people a lot of people don't know about, and they
Yeah.
go, "What, you're like you're live streaming? What the hell is that?"
Like, what is
You
that?
know,
How are
like
you gonna make money from that? You better get your ass in this job
right,
and
exactly. Like,
do
how is
this or
that
do that.
possibly going to make you any money,
Yeah.
right? And you go, "Oh, well, I could do this or this," but the negativity sometimes can get to you because you're like, "Wow, this person doesn't believe in me
Mhm.
at all,"
Yeah.
right? But I think we have to realize that a lot of people they're stuck where you were before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you were a lot of times you're stuck in that trapped area where you're just kind of like, this is how things are supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
And so those people, they still think this is how it's supposed to be,
Mhm.
and so they can't really. It's hard for them to accept or to really, I guess, open up to the possibility that there are other ways to do things,
Yeah.
and it's sometimes you really have to think about it. You really have to explore those things
Mhm.
before you can understand. Wow, there are a lot of different ways to do things.
Yeah.
You can be successful in
Yeah.
million different
Yeah.
ways, right?
Especially nowadays, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
with the internet and
yeah.
everything. Like the internet in itself is just it's so massive, and there's so
Mhm.
many different things out there to
Mhm.
explore and figure out like what works for you.
Yeah.
Like anybody can do anything, they really can,
Yeah.
and so I mean, I guess talk about some of the naysayers for you, but that was kind of a big way that I dealt
Yeah,
with that personally.
and I could relate. Our story is kind of parallel in some ways. Um, just a lot of naysayers. Especially surprisingly, in my own family. With my
Oh
own
yeah, that's right. You
peers
said the
and
family.
things. Yeah, I mean, I've had my own father pretty much laugh at me and tell me, "Oh, you're never gonna do that." But
Right.
I could recall, years beforehand, him just handing me an application of someone else's job, saying, "Here you go."
Mm-hmm.
And I just think, to this day, man, that's just it's just such bullshit, man. I would never hand my child an application to any man's job. I would say, okay, what is it that you want? What do you think about all the time? What do you
Mm-hmm.
do in your spare time? What do you
Yep.
get angry about? What do you get most passionate about when you talk to people? Do you express
Yep.
yourself? And from there, you can begin to, put the pieces together and say, wow, I do want to be of service to people, or I do want to, travel the world, or I do want to do music, or I want to write, or, I want to be a
Mm-hmm.
nurse or a doctor, because there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5 as long as you have a burning desire inside of you to do that.
Yep.
And if you're going to be of service, then, that's all that matters. But I had a lot of naysayers. Some of the ways that I combated that, it took me a while really to get over it. But once I really start believing in myself, as hokey as that sounds, like, okay, I can do this.
Hey man, that's a real
And
thing. Believe in yourself.
and it is, and just to turn it all the way positive, not trying to be an ass or anything, but pretty much looking at a lot of the other content that was out there from other writers. I'm like, you know what? If they can do it, I damn sure can do it.
Yeah.
Like if J.K. Rowling can sell this many copies of a book, then why can't I plant my ass on my couch for 6 to 10 months and write something of my own? Tell
Yep.
my own story.
And she didn't even have as many opportunity, I think, as
No.
there is now, where you can self-publish and things like that,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So, I mean, really, there's more opportunity now, I
Yeah,
think, to do that in some capacity or another, right?
definitely,
And
definitely,
there's so many different options.
definitely. And through that process of just the backlash and the negative reactions that I received from my family, man. One of the top things that I learned was that I can't lie to myself, and I damn sure wouldn't steer myself wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think of it as this: I have a compass inside of me that guides me. That's the only thing that I need to listen to. All this, it doesn't matter because they got their own lives,
Yeah.
and I mean, God bless them. I love them to death, or whatever it is that you believe in, bless them. But I had to listen to my own voice. I had to follow my own route because these people, love them dearly, but some of them are retired now and they can barely even take care of themselves. So I really, I really don't
Yeah.
think that me and you can relate on a level of talking about being passionate about something and going after it, balls to the wall. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is all I have. Like how you mentioned to me a couple of times, man, where some of the checks you've gotten, you've put your entire check into what
Hell
it is
yeah.
that you were trying to do. One of our
Yep.
coworkers was telling me that. He's like, dude, it's like, man, Josh told me he only had this amount of dollars left because he put all his paycheck in there. And it's like, man, that dude is gonna make it. I'm like, hell yeah, yeah, you're right. He gonna make it because he got what it takes. He's like, look, this is all I got. I'm going to put
Yep.
everything I have into it until you become it.
Yep.
And then those same naysayers
Yeah.
will be the one who you're sending Western Union checks to, who you're, giving a little bit of cash deposits to, or, you putting a little bit of money on their cards. So that's the way it works,
I think, yeah, I think, what, because what you said, you put everything into it. That's true. When you start
Hmm.
surrounding yourself, with what you care about most,
Yeah.
like, you start, I don't know, personally, like that, it started to make me feel like happier, right? I
Yep.
realized like
Definitely.
I realized how,
Definitely.
like, for a time I was like unhappy, and
Yeah.
then like I got to this point where like some things kind of happened or whatever,
Yeah.
and then I was just kind of like, wow, like nothing really like gets me that down now. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, you have your bad days and everything. Everybody
Yeah.
does, and I'm sure I will continue to.
Hmm.
But no, I haven't felt like legitimately like depressed or
Yeah.
fucked up about anything
Yeah.
in like a long time, because I know that what I'm doing is like I really enjoy doing what I'm doing,
Hmm.
and I spend my time doing those fun things and like kind of like trying to connect with people and do all these cool things, and it's fun, man. It's like part of the lifestyle you want to live,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I think once you're on that path or whatever, uh, it's things are just a little brighter, right?
Yeah. They are,
All the
man.
time,
They
like
are.
they're at a constant
They
brighter
are.
level.
You're a lot happier, man.
Yeah.
It's almost better than sex, but seriously, man, you've changed a lot throughout the years, man,
Yeah, so have
and
you, man.
and thank you.
But like, we've kind of been on that same
Mm-hmm.
thing,
For a
so I
long
think,
time, man.
yeah,
I can remember countless times, man, us getting together at
find
work.
somebody who's also trying to do some shit.
Definitely.
Link up with that
Link
person,
up.
talk about
Definitely.
it, build each other up.
Mm-hmm. Build each other up, man. Keep each other posted, on whatever it is that you're doing. It doesn't matter, man. Check in at least once a week. Especially if you work together like we did. We would always, throughout, our duration with the company that we're with right now,
Mm-hmm.
throughout time, come together. What is it that you're working on, or just whatever's going on with you, man. Because we had a long journey, man. You came a long, long, long way. Because I can remember it was a point where I would ask you, and I would just straight up tell you. I remember when I first met you, and you were telling me how passionate you were about music, and we had a lot of the same interests. We were
Yep.
kind of bouncing back and forth different ideas. You're like, oh, yo, you know them? Like, wow, you
Yeah.
know them too? Like, damn, you don't even look like you listen to that. Wow, you didn't say that, of course, but um, You know, it was just crazy.
Sure, a lot of people probably think that though.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Like, yo, you listen to it? Like, yeah, I do. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, you came a long way, man, because I can remember, you know, asking you, you know, I mean, you know, well, what are you gonna do with this music? You're just like, oh, I don't know, you know. I mean, I need to find another job, you know. And in my mind, you know, even I wasn't even on my journey yet, you know.
Yep.
I was still kind of, you know, putting my big toe in, like, that water's a little bit too hot. I don't want to do that. I got this fly ass whip, this nice apartment. I got a chick and, you know, a few on the sides. I'm not worried about it, you know.
Yeah.
But I can just remember you saying, you know, I don't really know yet. You know, I gotta find another job or anything. Versus today, you know, years down the line, and us coming to that point to where, you know, we're on the road now. We're pursuing our dreams. We're doing what we're meant to do. It's like night and day, man. You're like an entirely different person, you know. And
Yeah.
I would like to credit some of that to the talks that we had, man, because we had some real powerful talks. I've never even talked like that with my own sibling. You know, I have a brother. Never had candid conversations like that. So I'm proud as hell of you, man. Keep going. And like he said, you know, to piggyback off what Josh said, if you work in an environment with anyone who's trying to do anything, you need it's your responsibility to talk to that person. You need
Yeah,
to
you gotta link up because
get to
I
know
mean,
them,
you
even
don't
if you don't accomplish anything.
you don't
get to know
necessarily
'em.
have to like work together on shit. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like we're doing this. You don't have to necessarily do that kind of stuff.
yeah,
But I think just talking about what you're working on, your hopes and dreams with somebody who like
mm-hmm,
has their own hopes and dreams and really kind of like is
yeah,
passionate about something very strongly. Um, you kind of. So I don't think we didn't really intend to like do that, but I think what we ended up doing was sort of pushing each other towards that goal, right?
yep,
Because like I think talking about it and you go, yeah, like I feel the
mm-hmm,
same way. I agree. We need,
definitely,
and then before you know it, it's like you just kind of start doing that
mm-hmm,
shit. It starts to happen, right? And then you're
yep,
discussing things. And for me, like when I talk to somebody about something, um, you know, I enjoy when somebody has like some kind of feedback, right? When they say
yeah,
something, because for me, like it I think about a lot of different things, um, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I've thought of everything. And you could say something that just random, totally random, and it might spur me to think of
yeah,
another thing that I could be working on, or another piece of the puzzle, kind of. You know what I mean? I
yep,
think when you're putting it out there and you're discussing things with somebody, even if you're just talking at them and they go, yeah, yeah, when you really speak it, it becomes real, and I think it almost creates this bridge to other things.
it does,
You know?
it does. You know, and the reality of the situation is this, man. You could look at it, you know, or however you want to, or try to intellectualize it, intellectualize it. That's that Bush kicking in.
Yeah.
You could do whatever you want with it, but the reality is this, man. Everything around us is a thought.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it started as a thought. So am I really
It was
wrong
yeah.
for?
Everything was literally an idea somebody had. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. So
All
it's
this
just.
technology we're surrounded
Mm-hmm.
by,
Yep.
um, even the idea of other things like the idea of a house was somebody had the idea to
That
build a
was a
house
thought.
one day.
That was a thought.
Obviously far in the past, but
Mm-hmm.
that was a thought somebody had.
Mm-hmm.
Shelter or
Yep.
and then it's easy to see when you break it down like that. It's every like you're totally right, man.
Mm-hmm.
You're totally right.
Yeah, it's just about pushing forward, man, and putting it out there. You know, if you see it here, pretty much, then that can manifest itself into reality. So, a lot of times we're just our own worst enemy. You know, we're the ones who are causing the most damage to ourselves. So,
Mm-hmm.
you have to sometimes get out of your own way. You know, for me, a lot of times it was, you know, like we talked about the money issue. I don't have enough money to do this. I can't get this dream started. You know,
Yep.
I can't, you know, find the type of people who will help me make this come true, or, you know, I'm not in the right place, or, you know, this job isn't right for me and I don't have enough time. You know, you have to get out of your own way and just make the decision. You know,
Yep.
get past that
It's
fear
easy
and
to make
doubt.
excuses
Mhm. It
for
is
those
definitely.
things.
It is definitely, and from that comes wasted time and procrastination. You know,
Mm-hmm.
which is a comfort zone for a lot of us. It is for me,
Yep.
still to this day, and I have to constantly check myself and say, wait, you know, I have to go towards what's for me, because
Mm-hmm.
if I don't, then I'm gonna stay in this same spot I'm going to stay stagnant. I'm going to stay unhappy. You know, you just have to do the work. And it feels so good and rewarding after you finish the work. It's just like, damn, why didn't I do this before? You know, it's that resistance that creeps in, you know. So what's some of the different ways that you dealt with, you know, fear and doubt and kind of getting out of your own way in regards to going towards, you know, what's for you with your music career, man? Tell the people out there.
You know what? I think for me, a lot of it wasn't necessarily like, oh, I can't do it or I'm not capable. You know, I think everybody has a little bit of that sometimes. That wasn't really the big issue for me. It was more so, like afraid of not having the money, right? It
Yep,
was a
the
money
money.
issue. Everything's a money issue,
Yeah.
you know, and it's unfortunate, but it is. You know, a
Mhm.
lot of things boil down to that, and
Yeah.
you know, it's it wasn't necessarily easy to do. It was a little bit risky to spend an entire paycheck or whatever. But you
Worth
know,
it.
yeah,
It's
I
worth
mean,
it.
I was like, I think what I did was I told myself, and I basically told myself, well, what's the worst thing that can happen, right?
Mhm.
Literally, the worst scenario right now for me would be I have all this recording equipment and I do like I don't necessarily make any money off of it, right?
Mhm.
But I actually enjoy recording, so really the worst thing that can happen is I just record for myself and for maybe my friends or
Right.
whatever the case. I don't necessarily have to make money off of it to be happy, right?
Mhm.
So that's the worst case scenario
Yeah.
is that I don't necessarily become like successful using all of this stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's still positive. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's still a gain.
Mhm.
So I guess I kind of framed it as a positive no matter what.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really important to do because it's easy to go to think about all the worst case scenario things, right?
Right. Right.
But when you reframe something in a way where you're like, well, literally the worst thing that can happen is still more positive than now,
Mhm.
then why wouldn't you at least try, right?
Yep.
So you can only gain. You
Yep.
can't lose.
Yep.
And for me the money wasn't a huge issue. I mean it is and it isn't, right?
Mhm.
It's I got to a point where like I had saved up enough over some time and I was like, you know what? I know I'll be good. I just need to, kind of not go out and spend any money on anything else and I'm just going to go for it, right?
Yeah.
I just got to
Definitely.
a point where like I had to do it, right?
Definitely, definitely,
So,
and you balls out, man. Right now,
yeah.
I see you, man, and you know what? Honestly, man, I'm inspired by it. Um, I don't know. I always go back and forth with the whole money thing, and in regards to putting it towards the dream and things like that. But what's helped me and what I'm realizing, right now is that, the money isn't important. It becomes a part of your reality when you fully just immerse yourself in what it is that's for you,
Mhm.
versus saying, well, oh, I don't have this $100 to, book this studio time, for example. All right. But, when you just say the hell with it, I'm still going to write that song. I'm still going to rehearse it like I
Yeah.
have $1,000 in my bank account. What happens?
Yeah, you a lot of times you end up getting there or
It
you
works
find a
itself
way,
out.
right?
Hmm.
So, but I think you put yourself on the path
Yeah.
at least. You get started doing something,
Yep.
and it's like when we were getting beers the other day talking about this, and you brought up the car analogy, right?
Hmm. The
You,
beers.
yeah.
Oh.
We should have gotten some beers for this. Maybe we'll next time.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Um,
stuttering Stanley right now. So.
yeah. But yeah, man,
Car
you brought up
analogy.
the car analogy, and it made a lot of sense to me, and I think it'll make a lot of sense to other people too. Which is, you said, and I mean, you can take it from here if you'd like, but
Hmm.
you said that basically the headlights will reveal the road.
Exactly, man. I was watching a powerful, powerful, powerful documentary before, and I'm so sorry to the doctor, who was talking about this, but they pretty much were talking about, how the universe works and the law of attraction. I'm big into that. I drive
Mm.
Josh crazy all the time with, my quotes and different, things like that. But pretty
I like
much,
different perspectives, so you're not. It's
yeah,
all good,
yeah.
man.
This is definitely a different perspective. So we're
Yeah,
doing a
for
lot for
sure.
racial relations in America right now, anyway. So There we go.
Fuck
That's
yeah,
that's
man.
power right there, baby. But anyway, he was pretty much saying, like he was comparing your journey in life equivalent to riding in the dark. You're riding in the dark on a backside road somewhere in the country. You can't see anything. All you have is these headlights, right? So as you go further and further, the road reveals itself, man. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
that's kind of how life is. You can't worry about what's after this step or, the end all goal. You just have
If you
to
do, you'll get nowhere. You won't
exactly,
move along that road at all
exactly,
because you'll be too afraid of what comes after it.
exactly.
All you have to do
Yeah.
is inch up a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then, oh, hey, there's still road there.
Yeah, just drive the damn car pretty
Yeah.
much. Drive the car, man. Don't worry about, the end destination. And you just have fun, while
Yep.
you're on the journey, man. So I really don't think jumping back to what we were saying about money, I don't really think money is like a huge hurdle, in regards to your passion. What do you think is like just a huge hurdle in regards to accomplishing your goals and just at least getting on track to whereas, you're on that road.
Well, you said it earlier. It's yourself.
Yourself.
Yourself
Yeah.
is the biggest. Uh, it's like you said. You basically said you're your own worst enemy, and
Okay,
that's
so
exactly what it
okay,
is. You're your own
nice.
worst enemy. You get in your own way.
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm a very heavy thinker, man. So
Yeah.
when I'm sitting here by myself thinking about stuff, I very often get in my own way about a lot of things and a lot of unnecessary
Yeah.
things. And so sometimes it takes some effort on my part
Yeah.
to go, forget about that shit.
Mhm.
Don't let that get in your way
Mhm.
because it's not important,
Mhm.
And it's like I was saying, you psych yourself out of stuff.
Yeah.
I think I did that for a long time, and
Mhm.
I'm like rebuilding my thought process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To not worry about that. I got out of this, like I was almost like having an existential crisis at a point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me
Where
too.
I was freaking out about like nothing,
Yep.
like
Same
really just
here.
nothing.
Same
And
here.
well, at least now I feel like it's nothing. Where then it was just like, it was crazy. I
Yeah.
was like, what do I do?
Yep. Yep. Same here, man. My hairline suffered greatly.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like you remember I was right here.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm like right here. Like I'm happy now, but that doesn't reflect itself in there. So I mean I definitely feel you on that, man.
Yeah, but I mean,
All the way.
it's once you work that out and you get out of your own head a little bit, you start moving. I think really like convince yourself there's no reason to not take that little first step, right?
Yep.
Take a baby step.
Mhm.
Figure out what that little thing is.
Mhm.
Maybe
Baby
write something
steps.
down. Write a little note or something.
Yep.
Just take your own time, but make sure you're doing something.
Yeah.
Right. And then once you start doing it, I think that it just gets easier and easier as it goes on.
Yep.
And maybe this sounds like really cliche to a lot of people. I don't know. I mean, but it's really the truth. At least it's my truth. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Your truth might be different.
Yeah.
Somebody else's truth could be different. But this is what works for me. This is what I learned about myself
Mhm.
in the process, right? I think self-reflection is a big deal. In really being honest with yourself is sometimes difficult,
Yep.
but you will grow so much. You become so much of a better person. And I
Mhm.
feel like a much better person than I
Yep.
was even yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Just from really thinking about maybe how I acted or how I thought
Mhm.
about something and went, why did I do that?
Yep.
Was that appropriate
Yep.
or was it wrong?
Yep.
And should I do something different next time?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and that self reflection, and just overall self awareness, man. That is so important, man. You would think everybody has it, but you don't, man. But I nowadays
Everybody
I
has
like
the
to get.
ability though, I think,
Oh yeah,
it's just
definitely.
sometimes some people are, I think, like they're a little further down that hole than others,
Yeah.
and you have to maybe like it takes a little
Yep.
more work.
Everybody has their own journey, man. But myself nowadays, man, I'm brutally honest all day, with the ones who I love, man, myself, man. I like to get down and
Hmm.
dirty. And this isn't about, downing yourself or anything like that, but it's just about being real, man, and just forcing change in your life, man. I'll look in front of that mirror until I just get embarrassed to the point like, oh, wow, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me? I need to change this. I need to do this. I need to fix this certain personality trait. I didn't talk to this person right because you just never know who's going to be that missing piece for you. Who's going
Yep.
to be that help? Who's that assistance? And that's why it's so crazy, man. When I talk to you at work a lot, and we work with a lot of people. We work
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of
There's like
people.
what 500-600 people
Hell
probably in
yeah.
that place.
All, mostly young people. And it's just like all these young people in here, we can't do one thing together. We can't at least come together and talk and,
Yeah.
conversate and kind of get the dialogue going as to,
Yep.
okay, what's going on here? This system doesn't work. It may
Mm-hmm.
have worked for our parents because, whatever the fluoride they were consuming or, the jobs that they stayed in all day or any all this other stuff. It's not
Yeah.
working for us. We don't want
Well,
this. So what can we do to change
I
it?
think
Like,
it's easy for us to. It's a lot easier for us as younger people to see the world changing, right?
hmm
The world's changing in a big way, and it has been for a long time. But
yeah.
I think that's why you see just a lot of things you do see in the world right
hmm
now. And not to get that's a whole different discussion, but
Definitely. Sorry to take us off like that,
but
but
no, that was just me saying like there are I'm sure you can get there, but
yeah.
I won't get into it now. But um, yeah, I think like the world is changing in a big way, right?
hmm
And things have been one way for a long time,
Yeah.
right? And so we're in like this weird, I think like turning point
Yeah,
where
definitely.
like
It's a shift.
there's some resistance, right? There's
hmm
some resistance from people who have had it the one way for the longest time, or feel like it should be that way, or maybe they haven't yet realized that you know it's gonna move on, and
Yeah.
it's gonna move on regardless.
Yeah,
It's
they
gonna
don't have
get
a
there
choice.
regardless.
They don't have a choice, and it's not
Um,
about being lazy, man. I hear so many people say sometimes, "Well, all that you guys are just
yeah,
lazy, this, and that." And, this is a conversation, meant for another episode. Stay
right,
tuned.
right, yep.
But I hear that a lot, and it's not about that. It's just about being, creators. We consume all this content. So why is it wrong for me to want to create some of it and to say,
Yep.
oh, let me take a break from this and let me focus on myself
Mm-hmm.
versus doing this all day
Yep.
and doing this all day after work?
Yeah.
What am I doing? What am I contributing? What am I giving back and how am I helping people?
I think we're
And that
realizing.
attributes to my happiness. Sorry to cut you off.
I cut you off. That's my bad.
It's all good.
But no, I think we're realizing like young people across the world even are kind of realizing that we want a different lifestyle, right? We want to lead a different life,
Yeah.
and the things that like we know that like we know what makes us happy, right?
Yep.
And what we enjoy doing, and we want to do more of the things that we enjoy.
Yeah.
We've seen all the people who've struggled in the past before us and
Yeah.
had a hard time, and we want to do things differently so we don't end up that way, right?
Exactly.
And I see it all over the place. People leading like these great like different lives. It's so interesting, and like they're having a great time, and they just seem like they're having a blast every day.
Yeah.
Every day is like this new amazing adventure
Yep.
on their path, right? To you, it might not seem like an adventure. To me, it might not seem like an adventure, but to them, it is.
Yeah.
And that's the important part. Is like it's their own amazing journey, right? That they're on, and it's it's changing for everybody, and I think to be able to motivate yourself to be creative or to do something different and
Yeah.
do something your way. It's a struggle, but it's the most rewarding thing you can do.
It
I
is,
think,
man. It is. It is.
to live this one little tiny life we have your own way and be happy with
Yep.
it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. The life that we have right now, man, it's just so important, dude. I mean, they say the richest place on earth is the graveyard, and I'll leave it at that, man. You can figure that out, but it's not about the money.
Yep.
It's not. It's never been about. Well, you know what? I lied. Yeah, it used to be about the money for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But as of right now, for the past few years, I want that freedom. Like I want to be able to get up and know every day that I'm inspiring somebody, that somebody is viewing some type of content that I created and it's getting their brain stems, all wired up, and they thinking about different things that they can do, to make their life better, man. So
Yeah.
it's not about the money, man. It's not about,
It's really like
the
it's
flash,
almost like a
man.
connecting with people thing.
Connecting
And I
with
think when
people,
it comes down
man.
to it, we both have our own like interests, but I think it really comes down to connecting with people in our own way, right? Like you through your writing, me through my music, and then I think even this podcast I think is a way to try and connect with people and it's definitely a way to connect with people, and I hope people are interested in doing that.
They will be. They will be, man. What I
Because yeah, it's like, I think saying this again is building each other up, right?
mm-hmm.
And like that's being able to connect with the people who are, you know, they're on your team, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the best feeling in the world.
Exactly, exactly. And going back to what you said about, building people up, man. Once you find that core tribe, that community,
Yep.
that resonates with you and you resonate with them, man, they'll build you up. So going back to, what I said about money, that's why money doesn't matter. All that matters is the goal, man. And finding those, well, not necessarily finding, because they'll find you, that like-minded group of individuals. They'll build you up, man. You won't have to worry about anything. It's all free.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it makes perfect sense to me. If you look at different situations, especially nowadays, with social media and everything, that's exactly how it is. These guys may not be billion trillionaires, but I mean, honestly, who needs to be? Unless I'm giving, $1 billion away. That's the only way I want to be a billionaire.
Right.
Unless I'm able to give $1 billion away. I don't want that. I want to be around like-minded individuals. I want my community of people. I want to be able to create content whenever I like in the field that's for me, that I'm most passionate about. And I want to have those people around me inspiring me, and me in turn inspiring them. And we're
Yeah,
all
it's all
building each
about
other up.
the betterment of each other,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Exactly.
like as a whole, you know.
Exactly. We're all building each other up, and no man gets left behind. And that's how it should work, man. That's the way
Yeah.
that's the way this is supposed to work, according to me. I
Yeah.
mean, little old me, that's my opinion. That's how I feel it should work.
No, I
No
mean
other ways.
that would honestly be great, you know.
I mean, nobody wants to come into the job every day miserable, doing something that they don't like, man, busting their ass. And you're only, you look up one day and you're only 40 years old, and you broke down. You can barely, play with your kids. You don't even want to talk to your kids.
Yep.
You can't satisfy the old lady anymore. You know what I mean? You find yourself at a BP gas station, on the east side of Detroit somewhere or something, buying Magna RX pills, sipping dollar beers, Bush, and you end up stuttering like me. I'm sorry to all the people who may stutter. I had a stuttering problem when I was a child, so don't be offended. I'm sorry, but you pretty much get what I'm saying.
Well, we're just
I
trying to be
don't wanna,
lighthearted here, you
yeah,
know.
I don't want to get off the topic too much, but you just got to jump in,
Yeah.
and once you start, you forget about everything else pretty much.
I think that's a good way to wrap it up. Actually, is just
Yep.
jump in,
Jump in.
and start. I mean, you can start small too,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Start small, like you said. Take those baby steps, man, because
Yeah.
eventually those baby steps will turn into giant leaps. But it's just about getting in the game. First of all, figuring out what it is that you want. Taking the time to write it down. Writing things down was so important to me, man, and it
Yep.
still is. Like, I'll write some shit
It's
down.
another way you're getting it out there in
Mm-hmm.
some sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll write something down. I'll put it on my ceiling. Every day I
Mhm.
wake up, that's one of the first things that I see. My little alarm goes off.
Yep.
I'm looking up. These are my goals. Short term, long term on the right. This is what I want. I have it down to the T, to even the type of wife that I want. You may laugh, but it's like, you know,
Hey, you know what you want. That's
I know what I
there's
want,
nothing wrong
man.
with that.
And I'm going to keep reciting that to myself every day in my head. But you know what's so weird about it? One by one, they all
Checking those
fall,
things off
man.
the list, yeah.
And we're so slow as humans. A lot of times we acquire all these things. I'm sorry, that we think about, and that we want, and that we wish for, and that we affirm, and we actually have it, and we forget that we even wrote it down or even dreamed about it, because it's like,
Yep.
okay, it's a part of my reality now. So what do I want
Yep.
now? So it's just about writing it down.
I think it's that
and-
constant
and getting-
improvement, those
mhm.
little steps, those little changes you make
Mhm.
daily, or however often that you need to.
Yep.
But just always being aware of yourself, and like what can you do to make it better, right?
Definitely.
And then you have to make that little tiny step, that little baby step, and then once you
Mm-hmm.
gotten to a certain point, you'll realize how far you've come.
Yep.
And it'll be like, wow, this is like easy. I'm just kind of
Yep.
free
Yep.
falling into it.
Yep. And you looking back like, damn, like,
Yep.
how did that happen, man? So with that being said, what type of lifestyle do you want to live?
Hey, I just want to. I want to work on my own schedule.
Definitely.
You know what I mean, I want to wake up every day, and feeling good. I don't want to dread going to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to dread like I want my work to not really feel like work.
Yeah.
I want to get up and just feel good and be like, all right, today I'm gonna do something fun, right? Every single day.
Yep.
Like that would be awesome. Or today I'm gonna connect with some people.
Yeah.
Or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So
Definitely,
what about
man.
you, man?
What type of lifestyle I want to live, man? I want freedom. I want to be able to wake up every day.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Yeah.
I want to be able to watch. What's the guy's name? With the afro, the white guy, Bob Ross. Happy Trees.
Oh, Bob Ross,
Yeah.
the painter. Yep.
I want to be able to watch Bob Ross at approximately 6 a.m. And then after that, I love to be able just to write my entire day, man, and look out at a beautiful scenery, man. Be able to get out into nature every day. Be able to sit under the sun every day, do what I love, man. Use this internet and this technology to reach millions of people and to put myself out there, project myself, and just surround myself with just, pretty much love.
Yep.
Love on all aspects. You're going to have your negativity and, all these different circumstances to come your way, man. But at the end of the day, I just want to know that my home base is good.
Yep.
I'm set. I'm no longer, coming to, a hellhole, as we will call the mysterious place that we both work at. And just being around just these sick-minded people, man, just totally removing myself, totally removing ourselves, man, and just being the men that we know we can be, the men that we always wanted to be, man, and just living our lives, man,
Yep.
and being of service, most importantly. What are we giving?
Yep.
What are we contributing?
I think for me, like, I think you can break it down into like three different little parts, right? Which is, like you said, the freedom, which is, I think that's basically what I was saying, but I used more words. Yours is broader and probably a better way to say it. Just freedom, man. Wake up every day, feel free to do what you want to do, right? And then, like you also said, surrounding yourself with love, right? And I think of that as finding that group of people that we're all interested in the same thing.
Yeah.
Those friends you have that you just you connect with on that level where you have great conversations.
Yep.
You're all building each other up to be successful and do these amazing things.
Yeah, your network.
Your
very
network,
very
exactly.
important. Very important if you're ever trying to get somewhere.
Yeah, and I already forgot the third one, but
it's all good, man.
It's basically that,
It's all good. The Bush does that sometimes. The Bush beer, it does it, man. It does it. We'll show you on camera next time, maybe.
Yeah, maybe we'll grab a 6-pack next time.
6?
But yeah,
12, man. 12,
right,
just
hey.
the big dogs. Come on, man.
So we're gonna I guess we're partying next time.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so I think that'll wrap it up. We're just over an hour and 5 minutes, hour and 6 minutes.
Nice.
So yeah, I think it was good. I mean, I feel pretty good about it. It's very off the cuff. I think the goal for you and I both was to just be able to have a normal conversation, not be too structured, let it flow and be kind of real about it,
Yep.
I don't want to hide anything.
Yeah.
I want to be honest about the way I feel about things, and I want to genuinely discover something every time we're just having a discussion, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Or learn something every time we're talking. So
definitely, same goes for me, man. I'm just happy. I'm honored to be here, man. I appreciate you even considering me of being a co-host of yours, or I don't really know how that works because it's the Josh and Rob show featuring Rob and Josh.
You're a co-host.
So
we host the show together.
So which one of us is going to get the drug problem, end up falling out with each other? We end up...
Not me.
Not me either, man.
Well, hey, then we're not going to fuck it up then.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, so right now we don't really have a schedule, just kind of testing it out, testing the waters a little bit. All the social media and everything will be... getting set up. It's in the works. So
what type of social media we got? Tell them what to be on the lookout for.
You're gonna be looking out for us on Instagram,
Double Tap,
Twitter,
Chirp.
Love this, man. I didn't know this was coming, guys. Facebook.
Your political views suck. I don't know the icon for that shit, so that's
just the thumbs up, man. Hit that like button. And man, that totally derailed me, but
I'm sorry,
in a good way. In a good way,
Don't
man.
find another host.
I like it.
Josh and Rob sound good together.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess like pretty much we'll pretty much be everywhere.
Yeah.
SoundCloud is a big one. I think that'll be
yes.
a big one.
Yes.
And then we're gonna upload to iTunes. Maybe you'll be listening to this one on iTunes
Let's
or
do it.
Spotify even.
Okay.
The main thing to look for, I think, since we decided to call the show the Josh and Rob Show featuring Rob and Josh.
Yes.
It's I guess you can condense that into JRRJ.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's kind of the theme I'm going with on the social media.
Okay.
So if you're watching this on YouTube, the links will be in the description below. It'll all be set up, at least a basic setup, by the time this goes up on YouTube. As for everything else, obviously, maybe whatever, it's not set up yet. Deal with it.
It's coming. Don't worry.
But
and
just
that
search,
doesn't mean in the next month. We're working on things day by day.
Just search.
We'll keep you fed.
Yeah, just search JRRJ show on whatever social media that you prefer, wherever you want to follow us, and then we'll keep you updated with photos and when the next show is, what the topics are. If you want to connect with us, send us an email at jrrjshow@gmail.com. You guys can email us about things that you want to talk about or things that you want us to discuss. And same thing with Twitter and the rest of the social media. Be a part of it. Let's talk it out together.
Any questions? We'll take on any challenges.
Yep.
It doesn't matter, man. We're here for you. We're here for the people. And I like the direction that we're going with this, man.
Yeah.
Because it's not a lot that's out there that's talking about this. And I know a lot of people who feel the same way as we do, being stuck in these type of situations. And, before we, head off, I'll say one thing, man. If you got something and you know what it is for you, go for it, man. It doesn't matter what a mother says, a father, or, you should go work here, or you should do this. The hell with that. You got to do what's best for you, man.
Yep.
So I'm proud of you, man. Damn proud of you, man. I wish you the best of luck. And here's to a
Same to you, man.
successful season of the Josh and Rob Show, featuring Rob and Josh.
There you go. You got
or
it.
Josh and Rob and Josh. Josh Rob, Rob Josh. But it's a pleasure, man.
Hey, it's gonna be fun, man. We're gonna keep going on this, and we'll have some guests and things like that, so that you won't always only be hearing our voices, so you won't get just bored of us.
Oh, we're gonna have a lot of interesting guests.
Yeah. All kinds of people who are just because everybody's got their own thing, their own opinion, their own voice, and we want to get that shit out there too, because if something that we said didn't resonate with you, maybe something that somebody else will. But the whole goal of the show is I think the overarching idea of it is just to stay positive and keep going. Right?
Motivation.
Yeah.
Motivation. Positivity.
Yeah.
We don't care if you like it or not. I'm just kidding.
Bro, well, hell yeah.
Positive.
Stay in the light,
Exactly, man. All right. It looks like we good here, man.
All right, cool. Well,
nice.
Join us next time. Follow all that social media shit.
Definitely.
Check it out on YouTube. Please like and share.
Yes.
Let people know. And if you're following all the social stuff, you'll know when the next show's coming up. Hopefully soon, next week or two. And I guess thanks for listening to the Josh and Rob Show featuring Rob and Josh.
Rob and Josh, sir.
Hey, have a good one, everybody.
That's a mighty strong handshake you have there, man. God damn, dude.
That's that guitar player hands.
Peace, y'all. Everybody be safe out there.
Later, everybody.